You are welcome here, just the way you are. No more hiding tears, no more covering scars. You are welcome, holy welcome. You are welcome here, just the way you want to be. Bring your deepest hopes and all your wildest dreams. You are welcome, holy welcome, holy welcome.
Good morning on this absolutely beautiful fall morning. My name is Mary Klein, and I'm a licensed practitioner here at Centers for Spiritual Living St. George, and I'll be facilitating an active mind meditation. So know that Source or God asks you to have open arms, open heart, open spirit, and open mind during this meditation. I prefer the name Source because it's the source of everything. Source wants you peaceful and grounded, stress-free, and without fear as you open to amazing possibilities. Now, I invite you at this moment to simply take this moment to move within. And if it feels right, gently close your eyes and breathe quietly. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Fall into this rhythm. Picture in your mind's eye an empty space, a dark space, a place with no parameters, a place with no limitations. Our brains act on imagery, so Source wants you to imagine a place in your mind's eye where no light exists, no dimensions exist, no movement exists, and no sound exists. An empty, hollow space. Just a void, expansive opportunity for you to gather your calmness, gather your focus, and gather your intentions of living a fear-free life open to your greatest possibilities. Now, open up your mind's eye. Gently bring light into this space. Imagine pure, vibrant light gently coming into focus, gently coming in from a pinpoint application. Now, allow a vast expansion of pure light, all-encompassing light, and now you're sitting in the center, floating in this space of light. The coloration of this light matches your desire for the color you choose to be floating in. There's no right or wrong color. Choose a color that is pleasing to you. Source suggests a coloration that is appropriate color for you. Perhaps a fall color, one of the brilliant yellows or oranges or red of our autumn. The color is light, gentle, soft, airy, and transparent. By bringing the color to such a vibrant, illuminating state that you actively begin to feel a temperature coming off from this light. This all-encompassing warmth or cool temperature directly reflects and coincides to the depth of the light color that is holding you in a gentle embrace, calming all the tension in your body, peacefully in passive thought, holding the light space around you. We want you now gently, with your mind's eye, elevate yourself and gently begin moving through the light. This light has encompassed all of this never-ending space around you. Source encourages you to find your own pace. As you move through this light space, gently feel a healing, undulating pattern, washing your body, moving in opposition to the irregular pattern of your movement, as if a wave is encountering your body with each undulation of the light movement. It is sending healing frequencies, healing temperatures, and healing movement onto your physical body. Spend a moment in this imaginative light, breathing in and out, imagining these undulations matching your breathing patterns, seeing the vibrancy of the light, feeling the temperature of the light, feeling the movement of your movement through this light, and this frequency washing your physical body, knowing the feeling of peace, love, and fearlessness, and knowing you are open to possibility. Feeling rejuvenated, this imagery will follow you throughout the day. So let's sit in silence for just a bit, taking in this incredible light and its healing properties. Continue to breathe in and breathe out. Imagine that these undulations matches your breathing pattern. Seeing the vibrancy of this light again, feeling the temperature of the light, and feeling the momentum of your movement through this light as the frequency washes over your physical body. Knowing the feeling of peace, love, fearlessness, and knowing you are open to all possibilities. Feeling rejuvenated, feeling renewed. And this imagery will follow you throughout your day. Peacefully resting in your energy. I want you to go to this imagery anytime you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed, any time you are feeling the need to block out any distractions that keep you from your heart space energy and knowing your own divinity. As you continue breathing, slow your movement down. Bring your frequency into an even pattern that gently matches and marries your own. No longer feeling anything separate from yourself. Quietly residing back in stillness with the light around you. Just take that in for a moment. This vibrant light is now coming down back into a light, more transparent state. Continue to slowly breathe as it transcends itself back into a pinpoint application that you are now seeing in the vastness and darkness of this space. Continue breathing in and out. In and out. Source blesses your every intention. Source holds you gently in its energy space, cradling your spirit and your soul as it gently guides you into the highest frequency and possibilities of yourself. May you find peace in your journey. May you find possibility in all of your thoughts. Source honors your space. Source sends you love and light as it will be. And so it is. Namaste.
You are welcome here, just the way you are. No more hiding tears, no more covering scars. You are welcome, wholly welcome. You are welcome here, just the way you want to be. Bring your deepest hopes and all your wildest dreams. You are welcome, wholly welcome, wholly welcome.
Good morning and welcome to Center for Spiritual Living St. George. We are so happy to have you here. My name is Gwen Hadley. I hope you enjoyed the beautiful music of Cheryl Barlow in the intro and those wonderful pictures. Cheryl added all of those from our gathering that we had a few weeks ago. So nicely done, Cheryl. So our theme for this week is breathe in the view, seeing beauty, feeling grace. Beautiful words. So who are we here at Center for St. George? We are an open, loving, and inclusive community that supports thinking creatively and living a deeply spiritual life. So I'd like to let you know who's here with us today. I think Star's going to bring up a slide. There we are. So Star's in the background doing everything tech. Our own Mary Klein, thank you for that beautiful meditation, Mary. She will also be doing our invocation. We have Alan Stanley playing wonderful music. I understand we had a get together last night and his fingers are a little bit sore from playing on the guitar for so long, but we're so glad that he's here with us today. Chris McCardle will be reading our Sacred Covenant. And we are so happy to have Stef Swink with us again today. She's joined us, I think, 1 or 2 other times. So she'll be guiding us through a wonderful talk this morning. So glad you're all here. And now, Mr. Stanley with the sore fingers, welcome.
Well, I'll be okay, Gwen. Thanks. Here's a little Michael Gott song. In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love. When I lose myself, when I feel I've lost my way, when I go inside and quiet my mind, I hear Spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love. I would like to bring Mary Klein back in and offer our invocation.
Good morning. I invite you at this very moment to simply take this moment to move within, and if it's right for you, to close your eyes. I breathe in, knowing that the breath I take is God, Spirit, Source, and all life itself in action. I know this is truth for me, as well as for all of you. This breath, the breath of life, is the very perfection of life in action. Every plant, every animal, every person breathes and is in the action of the divine, always. Even the oceans, as they become waves, the rivers as they flow, the stars and planets move in the breath and dance of life. I consciously align myself with this divine life. I let the breath move into my thoughts and my body. In fact, every cell and fiber of my being. I let the peace that God is I am permeate through my entire being. I remember with every breath that there is only one power, and it is the power for good, is that which creates, maintains, and sustains all life, mine, my loved ones, and in truth, every single being. I choose to know that this one is holding me and you in the perfection of life. Life itself, Source, listens to our hearts longing for the healing of our world. In this time of knowing, I speak my word for all who hear this, who are choosing to allow this time of uncertainty to grow us and to heal fears we didn't even know existed. I know that gratitude for all that currently is a tool we use to align us with breath, with life. I know that every person is held in the hands of love. It is the truth, the very place where love shows up, where peace shows up, where wholeness shows up. I know that the only truth is love, peace, perfection, and wholeness. I know that this time of perceived separation is truly a time of deep, deep connection to the divine of our hearts. With the deepest gratitude for the love, the life, the wholeness, and the oneness that I am, that we are, with the deepest gratitude for the peace that is, I release this word into the one that already has said the sacred yes to the wholeness that is. Knowing this unfolds as gracefully and easily as possible in the perfection of oneness, I let it go, I let it be, knowing it already is. And together we say and breathe, and so it is.
So it is. So it is. Thank you, Mary. And I know this voice of love, it is singing through my life. It is all I am, every part of me. It is all I choose to be. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love. Now we're going to bring Chris back in to read our.
There I am. I look like
Coming in.
Star for a moment. I thought I had become Star.
Oh,
Thank you, Alan. Love that song. Love that
thanks,
song. Love
Chris.
that song.
Thank you.
All right. I am going to be reading the Sacred Covenant. And the Sacred Covenant, just for those of you who are new to us or wonder why we read this every week, it is a prayer that we as Center for Spiritual Living St. George wrote together collectively. We had a team of search committee, minister search committee members who carefully, methodically, and through meditation and through prayer wrote every single word. And then we brought these words into our community for their feedback and their approval. And we wrote this prayer, which we call the Sacred Covenant. And I read it in the first person using I, because I would like for you as our audience to say this prayer from your heart and your point of view. And if you'll notice as I read, each and every one of these words is just beautiful, and it's exactly what we're looking for as a new minister. So I know as we read this prayer, it's going to demonstrate and bring us that perfect minister. So I'll go ahead and begin. If Star, if you can make that a little bigger for me, thank you. So let's read this together. There is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. In knowing that I'm one with this life, I know that I am one with all of its blessed expressions, which include the presence of a new minister for my beloved spiritual community. And because I know the highest purpose of my new minister is to express God, I therefore know that my new minister reveals wholeness. I further know that my new minister is the fulfillment of that which we believe, for it is written, "Let us learn to draw the divine substance down into our lives, and as freely it has been given to us, let us give it to others. Thus alone shall we be made whole." And that was written by Ernest Holmes. As I stand in agreement with my beloved community, I see my new minister revealed before me as growing the center in joy and prosperity. I now intend to experience my new minister in full cooperation and agreement with my community, knowing the truth about myself, for I live the presence and law of God. I demonstrate wisdom through a mature understanding of the wholeness of life. I am accountable and willing to take full responsibility for my actions. I participate in and support the nurturance and guidance of the community. I act from wholeness and congruence in thought, word, and action. I walk the talk. Now, the I embrace is where you find your own choice of words for your own vision of our new minister. And I'm just going to take a minute for you to go ahead and just feel that, what you'd like to see this minister be. And if I could have the next slide, please. I now accept the highest expression of a new minister into my life, knowing that they are revealed in a way that expresses God and serves the highest and greatest good for all who are touched by their presence. And in this, I am grateful, and I let it be and release it into the law of the universe by saying, "And so it is. Amen." Thank you. This month's theme is Breathe in the View. There we go. There's Gwen. Take it away, Gwen.
Thank you, Chris. Yes, as I said before, this month's theme is Breathe in the View. And I think Stef is going to talk about her talk, Seeing Beauty, Feeling Grace. So with that, I would love to bring Stef or Alan. Are you know, Stef? I'm singing Amazing Grace. Maybe we could sing it together, Stef.
Actually, why don't all of us can sing it? We can all sing it together.
I love that.
All right, Alan, take it away. Go ahead and bring us in with Amazing Grace.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a soul like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Was grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fear relieved. How precious did that grace appear the day that I believed. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a soul like me. I lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Through many dangers, toils, and snares, we've already come. 'Tis grace that brought us safe so far, and grace will lead us on. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a soul like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've no less days to see God's grace than when we first begun. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a soul like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
Thank you, Alan.
Thank you, Steph.
I love that rendition of that song. Really do. Well, hello, everybody. It's so good to be with you again. This community's just captured my heart. It was just thinking about what the experience is like to prepare to give a talk, especially when the intention and the openness that happens within me with that is that I prepare and then I let go. And that there's been so many synchronicities and serendipities of late, and that song is one. Just yesterday, the experience of grace that has downloaded into this message that I'm going to share with you yesterday was really amplified by that very song. And I actually found myself just yesterday in a sacred Inipi ceremony, a Lakota sweat lodge. I've done it once before. It was probably a decade ago. And I was so guided to be there. All kinds of unexpected things happened that had me there. And when, so it's basically, for those of you who may not have done it before, is basically a prayer. The whole experience is a prayer. And we were listening to the facilitators and the guides of our ceremony, chanting and drumming in the Lakota language, which was really heart-opening. And then we launched into singing that song, Amazing Grace. So there's 15 of us, most of us who didn't know each other, in the dark, in the heat, singing Amazing Grace. So there it is today, part of today's service, and I just love the way that feels so heart connective and supportive. So the title of today's talk, it first came to me, and I heard it as Seeing Beauty and Seeing Grace. And then the second seeing word shifted, which is so perfect. Seeing beauty, feeling grace. And there's been so many occurrences in the last month or so for me personally connected to beauty. And I'm just so delighted to be with you, to share this journey with you. And my goal, my intention in this talk with all of you beautiful people is to deepen our awareness and our intention to notice beauty and to then experience and feel deeply the grace that comes with that. And just this morning, when my beautiful husband was supporting me and created breakfast for me before I joined all of you, right in the middle of it, got another download. And it's just this power of beauty that came to me. The power of noticing something that is beautiful, how it immediately brings us poignantly into the present moment. So I live in beautiful Colorado, and I'm very, very blessed to live in this log cabin, as you can see, in the woods. And there's a lot of wildlife around here. And I was having an experience of being on the phone with my mentor that I work with once a month. And right after our opening prayer, I saw an animal just outside the window that I have never seen here in the 11 years I've lived here. And that animal was a bobcat. What a beautiful creature, right? It's the most perfect moment of making a decision I'll share a little bit more with you about later. And as soon as I noticed that animal, and then suddenly when I followed it along as it went along the outside of my house, it noticed me. And that gaze and that the beauty and the majesty of that wild creature, there was nowhere else I could be, nothing else I could think about. And boy, did I feel the grace, especially after looking up what the Native Americans believe and teach about the medicine of that particular animal, and how it brings in an awareness that it's time for deep introspection. So I just want to bring into our conversation here today, and we'll talk more about this for those of you who want to join us in the community gathering after service, a collaborative Zoom call at noon. We'll talk a little bit more about this, but I'm curious for you, what do you see or notice in your life that is beautiful? And I'm going to do one of my favorite things to do, which is talk about the definition. So this will support you in answering that question a little bit. So let's see. To see, first of all, seems obvious, but is defined as to become aware of something through observation. So my question is, what are you habitually aware of? What are you kind of, what do I want to say, that kind of knee-jerk reaction, that kind of way of being and noticing and seeing the world that might or might not be initiating an awareness within you of beauty? So I know beauty is something that, well, one could say is pretty subjective. I'm going to ask to share a slide, not quite yet, Star, but in just a moment. First, I want to define beauty. The definition of beauty is a combination of qualities that pleases the aesthetic senses, especially sight. So that sounds pretty obvious. We see something beautiful, a sunset, a bobcat, and we experience beauty. But here's another quality. So the definition of beauty is it can be a combination of qualities that also pleases the intellect or moral sense. So in essence, we could say that somebody, a person or an organization that's doing an altruistic activity, something that touches our values or the moral compass in our hearts, and we might say that is a beautiful thing they're doing. So synchronicities, as I mentioned earlier, they've been so abundant lately. And one of these came through when I was being with the subject of this talk and just opened up in my prayers to perfect support and insight about what would touch your hearts as I share this with you. And into my awareness came this quote. And so, Star, if you would share that first slide of mine, I'd appreciate it. So this quote by John O'Donohue it's a long, but I just want to share the amazing experience of how poignantly it touches on exactly what we're exploring today. So as it begins, we've often heard that beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and therefore it's subjective. This statement has another subtle meaning. If our style of looking becomes beautiful, then beauty will become visible and shine forth for us. So this is very much a science of mind principle, that what we focus on expands, what we notice becomes more of a part of our experience. So I love that. And then it continues. We will be surprised to discover beauty in unexpected places. And here comes that word grace, where the ungraceful eye would never linger. I love this line. The graced eye can glimpse beauty anywhere. It does not wait for perfection, but is present already secretly in everything. Imagine living with that perspective. So no matter what you see on the news, if you watch it, no matter what might be triggering you or bringing up fear or doubt or condemnation of others, whatever it might be that's challenging you, what if you nurtured a graced eye so that you could witness the beauty that is present secretly in everything? And then the last line. When we beautify our gaze, the grace of hidden beauty becomes our joy and our sanctuary. Man, thank you, Star, for sharing that. You know, that author, John O'Donohue, I didn't notice it at first when I came across this quote, and then I looked up the book that it came from, and he also wrote a book called Anam Cara, and that just touched my heart because in my first marriage wedding ceremony to my first husband, North, who passed away many years ago, he drew from that book almost every word he said in our vows. And it just occurred to me that you know, that movement and that activity of love and the way that beauty and grace weaves itself not only through my life but all of ours is just incredible. All it takes is just a little intention to notice and to be open. So my encouragement of you is to notice and to actively seek out and relish in things that you find beautiful. And doing so not only will bring you present, but it will also, in that presence, allow you to have an experience of feeling the energy of grace. So, of course, you know what I'm going to do next. Let's talk about grace. Where is that? Okay, here it is. The definition of grace. This might help our minds really conceive of how we are each worthy of this. I love this. Grace is defined as simple elegance. Love that phrase. Courteous goodwill. Always a good idea. And this one, the free and unmerited favor of God. The free and unmerited favor of God. That's grace. And, you know, I wasn't sure I was going to talk about this piece necessarily, but here it is. When I was sharing the talk title and exploring some of these things that were coming to me with my husband, Dan, he shared when I talked about the principle, the science of mind philosophy principle, that we cannot experience outside of us what we cannot experience inside of us. And he pointed out what a challenge it is for so many of us, so often in this human experience, to see beauty within and about ourselves fully, to fully embrace that. And also, he talked about the what he's heard me say, which is like the plague of undeservability, which is, you know, in all my 22 years of working as a practitioner, that has been an underlying false belief that so many of my clients, and of course myself, have been through all kinds of different experiences to heal and wake up from the falseness of that belief that we're not deserving. And he said, so if we have to see beauty in ourselves in order to see it in the world, then we have to heal that within us that doesn't believe that we're beautiful or deserving of grace. And we are the ones, by the way, who have the capacity to do this, to do it first for ourselves, to shift our perception, to initiate a miracle, and to recognize that we are deserving of the free and unmerited favor of God. I mean, how could God not completely adore and love us? We are the creation of the Creator itself. And, you know, yesterday in that sweat lodge ceremony, I was so blessed to have the experience of going through that with a group of amazing, open-hearted, open-minded young people. I mean, they were early 20s. There's about 6 or 7 of them. Beautiful beings, completely open. Most of them never experienced anything like this before. And I remember being in a conversation with one of them when we exited the ceremony, and she said, and I was thinking more synchronicity. First, she said, "It's so beautiful here," because we weren't far from where I live, up on the top of a beautiful mountain. She said, "It's so beautiful here." And she said, I could actually see how beautiful life is inside that tent. It's not exactly what you call it, but inside the ceremony, in the dark, in the sweat, and in all the intensity of the emotions that can sometimes bring up. She said, I could feel how beautiful life is in there in the dark. And, just being with her and being with all of them just reminded me that we have a lot of reason to be hopeful and to be certain about the power of consciousness that exists in young people. And they were just such an amazing experience for me yesterday. So what I want to go into just for a moment here is, this whole idea that we might need to fix or heal or make different something about us or something about the world in order to really be able to acknowledge and take in and trust in the power of the beauty of life is something that I'm personally, I don't really want to say struggle, but I'll be honest. I've struggled with it because my love for the planet and the evidence of climate change and the struggle and strife that is so readily available through news and media and conversation. I'm not denying that there are things going on. I can't deny it. My heart feels it, that there's very much a need for us to awaken and do it fast. But what I also know is that in the midst of what feels like, one person I heard just yesterday also say that the future looks grim. And what I said then and I'll say now is that may be, but the present is gorgeous. And so this need to fix or change something in order to be able to fully embrace our own inner beauty and therefore see it and relish in it in the outside world it's a false idea. Not that there aren't things that need to change, but fixing, changing, thinking that that's the only way will often trip us up. And we'll say, well, I haven't quite got that issue of mine handled or cleaned up. So I better work on that a little harder before I can really let grace in and feel that. And I think that that's actually a pattern that is keeping what's not working in place. So what do you think about joining me in being in the beauty and being in the grace right now, right this moment, in life exactly as it is, in your life exactly as it is, with all of its challenges, with all of its joys, just noticing, taking the power of our consciousness and our ability to choose and to decide that we're going to look. We're going to look for beauty. We're going to embrace it. We're going to welcome it in ourselves. And you might even get really brave and point out the beauty that you see in others to help them have that revelation also. So I'm in. I can kind of sense that there's some agreement going on here, and I'm really grateful for that. So the last thing, how are we doing on time? Good. So the last thing that I want to share is I'm going to go back to the beginning of this, towards the beginning of the service, when the sacred covenant for your new minister, for your community, was shared again. And I've probably mentioned it before in the times I've been with you in the past, but sacred covenants are a really powerful cornerstone of my own journey of spirituality, and what I teach and facilitate through my mentoring and retreats is the creation of individual and group sacred covenants like the one you have for your new minister. And so back in September, my beloved friend Sherry Davis in Oregon and myself facilitated a retreat. And boy, it was a wild ride getting there after a couple of cancellations due to COVID. We finally decided to persevere, and was it 16 of us came together in the woods in Oregon. And what started to reveal itself to me was a new covenant, sacred covenant for myself. And I just want to thank you and this community, because you helped in inviting me to be with you today to really anchor in to the agreement. The covenant is a holy agreement, the agreement that Spirit, the Creator, was seeking to make with me. And I was walking in the woods. So I'll just share a little backstory here with you. So by the way, walking in the woods, outside in nature, any way you can get it, beautiful way to access not only beauty, but great wisdom. Nature is so supportive of us. So I'm walking in the woods during one of our periods of silence. And in my head and in my heart, I found myself asking very clearly, Great Creator, what do you want from me? And without any hesitation, as clear as if it were a voice right out of the trees, I heard, slow down and I'll show you. And what I did right then, because it was so clear and so obvious, that just happened to be a log that was crossed over the trail that I was just about to step over. And instead of continuing on, I stopped. I slowed down. I listened. And from that experience, a new sacred covenant, a new agreement started to reveal itself to me. I didn't understand it until after I got home. And so I'm going to ask Star if you would bring up that second slide. So this might look a little familiar to you if you've been saying the covenant out loud on your Sunday gatherings. I just shared a little piece of mine. This is what revealed itself. And you see the title of it here, Stef's Reboot and Renew Sabbatical Covenant. I did not know that's what was happening. I did not know that's what slow down and I'll show you meant. But for the first time in 22 years, not predicated on crisis, I have pushed the pause button. And except for being with you today, because that was an agreement I made a long time ago, I have pushed pause and I am slowing down and I'm listening and looking. And this is what came through. Because I know that the highest purpose of my calling is to glorify God, I therefore know that my calling is a revelation of God as reverence. I further know my calling is fully supported by the word of God, for it is written, and this is my original quote, and the second one in black, another quote from John Donahue, I thank all of you for, because more synchronicity, as you'll see. So, for it is written, be still and know I am exalted in you and in the earth. And then this one that I share with you. When we approach with reverence, great things decide to approach us. Our real life comes to the surface, and its light awakens the concealed beauty in things. Love that. When we walk on the earth with reverence, beauty will decide to trust us. When we walk on the earth with reverence, beauty will decide to trust us. So my invitation from my heart to yours is to explore this. How do you walk on the earth? Are you willing to join me in nurturing an experience of reverence for life? I have a sense, an intuitive feeling, that the more of us that are willing to do that, to notice what is beautiful, even in the face of what is dark or disturbing, will enhance, will expand, will strengthen what is beautiful. So I have one last little thing I want to do with you, and that's to look at the next slide and say it together, and then I'm going to pray. So will you say this with me out loud from wherever you are? Ready? I appreciate the beauty and grace that dwell within all creation, including me. And so it is. And so just join me, if you would, in prayer as we conclude. And so, Great Spirit, infinite creator, power of love that we call God, I am so deeply grateful for this time that we've been able to spend together today in reverence of you and all that has been created in your likeness and through your love, which includes me, which includes every person at Center for Spiritual Living St. George, and the wider circle of humanity and all life on earth. And so together, I know that we stand in a place of open-heartedness as witnesses of the beauty that exists in this incredible world. We stand together in agreement, in holy, sacred covenant, to embrace and to embody the beauty within ourselves, and to express that to those that we love, and to see it in them and in everyone we meet. I know that by doing this together, by making this decision to witness beauty and to allow grace into our hearts to touch us in deep and profound ways, that our lives, our visions, our experiences, our relationships, our finances, our health, our physical bodies, all of it is uplifted. It is uplifted, and we continue to be the avenues of light that heals all that needs healing, all that needs revealing. And so, with gratitude in my heart, and with a sense of certainty and anticipation and curiosity about how all of this will reveal itself for myself and for all present here, I let go. I let God take it from here, and I relax, and I let it be. And so it is. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you so much. Your talks, your messages are always so beautiful and relevant. And thank you for sharing with us your personal sacred covenant. It's beautiful.
You're welcome. Kind of a vulnerable thing. So you're welcome. Thank you.
And we appreciate it, and we love you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Love you too.
Ooh, that was beautiful. Announcements. What's happening? Oh, I'll tell you what's happening. We're having our next community gathering on November the 20th. It may be a little chilly, but I think we're going to do great. We're going to meet in person again at Sullivan Soccer Park, 10 to 11:30. I know that there's going to be hot chocolate and hot tea. So, and I know there's always warm conversation. So please join us. We look forward to seeing you. So the book club, Sue's continuing. She's starting a brand new book on December the 2nd, The Power Within You. And this is by Eric Butterworth, who is a wonderful, I've read many of his books, wonderful, wonderful author. So all the information is on the website. Give Sue a call. You can also reach out to her at Gmail. So, and she can give you more information. So 6 to 7 on Thursday, December the 2nd. We continue to spread the love. There are many ways that you can support us, as you see from the slide. You can text to give. You can give online with Breeze or PayPal, or just the old-fashioned way by mail. We appreciate so much all that you do for us. And as you do for us, we're here to support you. Our community care circle continues. Our practitioners are here to pray for you, for your family, for your friends, whatever you need in your life. Please reach out to us, and we're happy to support you any way we can. At noon today, join our community conversation on Zoom. It's always lively. Stef will join us for the first portion of it, so please, she'll be there. You can ask her questions. We can have a great discussion. So we look forward to you joining us at noon. So next week, we've had these wonderful speakers. I'll tell you, everyone that's been working on scheduling these, they're just such high caliber speakers. So we have Jeffron Seeley for next week. He's joined us before. And then Reverend Stef Amand. I've seen her online, but she's never, as far as I know, joined us. So that will be the following week. So we look forward to these dynamic speakers, and we hope you'll join us. So next, Star is going to bring us all back up for our closing affirmation. She'll pop us up one by one. Okay, there's Chris. Steph is with us. Alan, Mary. Come on, Star, you got to show yourself. All right. So our closing affirmation.
Something wonderful is happening through me right now.
It is this thing called life.
Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. Life is in all that I do.
I am it, I embrace it, and I share it.
Just the way that it is.
And just the way that it is becoming.
Thank you.
Bye.
Woo!
Woo-hoo!
Happy
Thanks,
Sunday,
everybody.
Blessings. See you at noon. 10
We'll
minutes.
see you at the Zoom meeting. Come join us. The link was on the Facebook chat, and it's also on our website.